everyone, Genome here, with a new unboxing video. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and this is going to be a piece of gear that I hope will escalate my live streaming prowess, or lack thereof. No amount of gear can make up for the source material. But whatever the case may be, this has just come in today, and I wanted to go ahead and give you from the fresh unboxing opinion about its components, and then a little bit later on its performance. So we are looking at the Donner Podcast Console Bundle here, and it was kind of on special on Amazon here. So I thought I'd give it a try. I think it normally runs about $100. I think I picked it up for around 80. Sales go back and forth all the time. I own several Donner guitars, which I'll be doing some reviews on here in the semi-near future. And I figure why not just keep with the same company for a while, because so far so pretty much good with the guitars. So let's go ahead and get this thing opened, and we'll get some initial impressions. Nice packaging, if nothing else. We'll see how the inners look. Okay, foam lined box there. Everything does appear to be in good order in there. Nothing moving around or wiggling. So first off, looks like we have the condenser mic. It's got a little bit of heft to it. It's even conveniently labeled front. So, oops. All right, let's put that over here for now. I already have a USB mic, but I did notice that I don't think this has a straight USB interface. Now I think there might be USB-C, and I think from what I was reading it comes with some other cables. So there may be an adapter in there for USB-C. In which case I could use my regular mic, but I do want to try out the condenser mic that came with it. Okay, so here is the unit. It's pretty light, weighs probably maybe half a pound. And I really should have turned the monitor over here. Pardon me for 1 second. Sorry, I forgot to turn the little preview panel over here so I can actually see it. So there it is again, yay! All right, so it's got some protective film here. Probably shouldn't tear this off just yet, but you need to see it in all its glory. And of course that broke off, so this is not gonna be easy to remove the rest of it, is it? Okay, so it's a pretty attractive looking package here. I like that. That's one of the reasons I picked it. It didn't seem quite so ostentatious as the other ones did. It is of course backlit, so there'd be kind of good stuff. We'll see when we actually get her plugged in. Looks like it has some touchpad. There are touchpad settings up here that you can change everything from your reverb settings, which might be interesting for if we start playing some music through here. And I believe you can actually like auto-tune your voice and change the pitch and note of even your speaking voice. So kind of interesting. There are a lot of inputs in the back, and I'm sure a few outputs as well. But definitely a USB-C, aux-in, couple device things for like your phone and your computer. Headphone jack, yeah, USB-C. There's a Bluetooth connection on this, which was also kind of nice. And I do believe this has an internal battery as well, so you can charge it up and take it on the go with you. So it's another plus in this thing's, or what helped make me decide on this unit. What else? That's it. I'm guessing it charges by USB. Don't know, haven't read the user manual yet or watched too many videos about it. Now let's go ahead and try out some of the levers and knobs and dials. Feels very good action. Nice mechanical action here. I would say this is kind of analogous to like an IBM keyboard compared to a regular, Dell keyboard or whatever. Not picking on Dell, but I'm just saying very, very smooth operation. Very pronounced clicks when you get to the center mark. There's no stop on the reverb or on the music. Yeah, these feel good. Now the buttons themselves are kind of just lower grade plastic, but the actual lever action itself feels really nice, if that means anything to you. Okay, wheel action too. Doesn't feel quite as good as the levers does in the action, but definitely feels sufficient. You see here, I don't know if it's going to show up on that camera, but there's a little wobble to that. So it could be just a seating issue. It could be because it does allow for an indentation here. But yeah, I'm not crazy about that. And it looks like even if you don't put any pressure on it, it still kind of wobbles a bit. So dials are not amazing, but they kind of, well, they're obviously functional, so we'll see, or hopefully so. But yeah, so far the dials over on the push-pulls seem much better quality. Okay, so now we have some canned, pre-programmed noises like clap, cheer, laugh. Has a decent action to them. They're soft buttons. I know these are all backlit. This is programmable. I believe you can put several different of your own sound effects in here as well, but it does have, what, 8 of them already preloaded. Not sure how they sound, but here is a look at the layout of the buttons. Now, one of the things I read a few reviews on these, was that the buttons, if you push them at an angle, they'll sometimes stick. Now, I'm purposely really trying to do that. I don't know if you can, maybe I should do it on this one, with different buttons. And this may have been remedied. I don't see them doing any of these doing that, because I am literally pushing the edge right down hard to the lip and they're not sticking. So I think if this was a problem with this unit, it looks like it has been addressed. So that's good too. I was a little worried about that because you don't want these things getting stuck in a loop while you're streaming, right? So, all right, every button works just fine. And I'm so far happy with the build quality of this thing. It's a very reasonably priced unit, of course, so you can't expect, you know, Taj Mahal type construction, but it does seem to be sturdy enough. And it's very low profile. Look how small this is. This is like the size of an older tablet, right? Maybe even like when the phones are getting really big, it's about the size of a newer phone, right? So let's just see what other cables it comes with, and then we'll go ahead and switch over to some sound testing. Okay, there is a USB to USB-C adapter. So it looks like if you really already have a microphone that's USB, and I'll try this out too, looks like you're set, you're ready to go. I was a little worried too about that it would only be like a 3.5 mil input, but it doesn't look like that's the case. So very good. But hey, this whole kit comes with a microphone. That's something else too. Let's see, there's a 3.5 mil. I didn't show you the USB to USB-C. I don't know why you would need to see it, but there it is. One of the things that's really nice about this bundle is it comes with a microphone. Let me get the stand out here. And I know there is another adapter here. We got the XLR to the other the big component jack here. So this would be for your mic, and it also has the stand with the ring. Let's see, I'm guessing this goes on here. And thanks to the miracle of modern editing, I'm gonna get rid of all of this setup here so we can just jump right to the good stuff. We also have a short adapter for USB to USB-C. Kind of nice little inclusion there. Okay, so I got the mic hooked up with its little stand. I might want a little higher one. Actually, this will be front, so you want like this. And that whole operation, though I sped it up with editing, took less than a minute to put this together. So very, very easy to set up. It looks like this thing is highly adjustable too. It's not like anything special, the stand itself, but it looks very functional. And I'm really eager to give this thing a try. So here it is, what it looks like. I guess I better hold it up here on its stand with the XLR cable put in there. So it looks like if you are using this mic, unless you have an adapter, which I actually do, to drop this down to 3.5 mil, you're gonna have to be using this mic in certain ports here. But once again, there's an aux in here, and I'm just gonna use it direct, which I'm sure is gonna be the best sound. But yeah, I'm really eager to try this out. And let's see. There's no feet on this. There's rubberized feet, but there's no feet to actually raise this up. So if you were wanting this up, I don't know if they sell an adapter for that, so you can actually put it at an angle, but I'm sure you could just put some Post-it notes or something underneath like everyone else does. So anyway, enough of me babbling on. Let's go ahead and get this thing plugged in, and we'll do some sound checks and see how everything turns out. So far, I'm really impressed. All right, so here we go. Here's the first test. And hopefully you're not picking up any hum. I actually have my my B-roll on a gimbal right now, and the motor is kind of working hard to keep it at this junction for whatever reason. But whatever the case may be, this is what the microphone sounds like. I am just using the one that came with the kit, the Donner microphone. It's positioned about 8 inches away from my face, just out of the screenshot, and kind of the same spot where I keep my Blue Yeti. And so here are some of the things that you can actually do with this. Right now I have the input down to, I don't know, a little more than half. And the master, you can control your microphone output here at the touch of a knob, which is kind of nice. It seems like it behaves better when it's up much higher. You can play around with reverb. It's automatically set to have reverb on. I don't really see a point in that right now. Maybe if I start playing music over this thing. But for now, you just get that, you're at the racetrack, echo, echo, echo kind of thing with reverb. But you can control it with the switch right here, of course. Music is for your auxiliary inputs. And I'll give you a little example of that here in just a few minutes, probably. I actually was able to play my guitar through here. No problem at all. And I'm still working out the volume controls and all that. But so that's pretty cool. So I should be able to stream and actually, if I wanted to, play guitar at the same time. So it's nice. You got some other, of course, settings for your preference in how to listen to everything. I actually have everything right now at just neutral. No big deal there. But you have a ton of stuff for your voice. For instance, you can auto-tune. And right now it defaults you to a C, but you can work your way through like the C sharps and your D. You can go right through all of the gamut there. In order to turn it off, you just hold it down, and off it goes. Yeah, it seems pretty robust, but also quite user-friendly and simple. These are all touch-sensitive, these right here, and some of them have multiple stages to cycle through. I probably won't use almost any of that, but it's nice to have it if you really want to. And I'm really looking forward to figuring out what I can do for programming on this bottom row here. So yeah, it's an interesting little kit, and so far I'm quite happy with it. But once again, I haven't really used it in a live stream setting, so hopefully it stays good. If the mic sounds good enough, and I'll check this in post, I'll just continue to use this mic. It's no big deal. It's actually a much smaller profile than my Blue Yeti. I do like the Yeti, of course. I think it does sound great, but if this one sounds close to as good, I'm quite happy with it. And since it goes with the kit, there's not a whole lot of choices if you want to use this. So I think I'll be using the mic it comes with, but we'll see that in post too. I don't want to get into all the little features this thing has. I just want to give you the brief overview, but it's pretty good. And for whatever reason, you get a call or something during your stream, okay, loopbacks. There's plenty of, like I said, a couple of the pre-canned responses. So, hey, if you want to tell your audience they did a great job with an answer, there's the clap. And you can control the volume of all that as well. And I believe this row right here is programmable. I'll have to get back to you on that one. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video later on. I do have this thing set up on something right now. It doesn't normally sit at this angle, but I wanted it to make it easier for you to see. You can see also your meters here. You start getting really loud or getting really close, and there you go. But there's a cap where you got the master at. So pretty robust, I'd say, but also very simple. Honestly, I mean, if you really can't use this, that means you're worthy of this button. Have your Price is Right moment. So yeah, so far I'm pretty satisfied. I actually haven't got the screen with it yet. That'll be later on in the week probably, but I mean, so far it looks so good. And you can use this not just for live shows and live streaming, of course. You can record offline with this too, which is something I actually plan on doing with it. Pretty cool. One thing I say an error. There's really isn't a place to put a USB mic in here that I found right now. If you're running with a USB mic, I don't think you're going to be able to use it with this. There is plenty of like there's like a 3.5 mil for your aux in, and you have two mic inputs or two direct inputs in here that are on the big cables here that go almost right to XLR, excuse me. So I do have an adapter for, like, for instance, a mic cable that has a 3.5 mil, the one that brings it up to the next size up, right? So you can plug those directly in here, but as far as even converting or just plugging in directly through USB-C, doesn't look like that works on this. That is actually for the connection to your computer and power supply. So unless you can do that offline somehow when this thing's fully charged, I don't know. I'd say that you are either going to be stuck using the microphone that's in here, and let me know what you think about the sound quality of it. And I'll try to remember to give you an example. Maybe I'll cut right here and give you an example of what it sounds like for my regular mic, my USB mic. Okay, so here is the Blue Yeti. Why don't you hear the difference in a mic that costs $40 more than the entire bundle, the Donner Podcast bundle cost, mic and all over there. I wanted you to hear if there's any difference in clarity and or quality. The mic, or the Blue, is set just a smidge above the halfway point, but I'm not talking any louder or any softer than I was with the Donner mic. Also, all my settings in OBS are exactly the same, so I really wanted you to get an idea of what more of a mid-level mic will sound like compared to the one who came with it. I'm kind of interested in what it's going to sound like, the difference in post myself. Let me know what difference you hear and which one you like better down in the comments below. I'm really curious how this is going to turn out, because I'm really happy with the Blue mic. I've had it for about 3 years now, but you know, the Donner one comes with a mic already, so if it sounds good enough for live streaming, I think I'll just go ahead and stick with that one. But yeah, let me know. What say you in the comments below? Was this something you would be interested in if you already had a USB mic, to switching over to the Donner or not? Anyway, let me know, and we'll talk to you here in just a few minutes on the Donner device. All right, so there you have it. There's the quick sound comparison between the Blue Yeti mic and the Donner mic that came with this little kit. I'm curious how it's going to sound in post, the differences. I haven't listened to any of it yet. I'm just going to record this raw and let the chips fall where they may. Is that a good idea? I don't know, but we'll see here shortly. I also want to check the volume. I've read also some other reports that the volume on the pre-programmed noises can be lowered or not with the music, because I know they come out a little bit louder than your voice. So let's try it now. I'm going to clap. I'm not sure if it did anything, but I'll know when I get my headphones in afterwards and check in editing. But so it's curious. I'm really hoping this will work out well. I'm hoping that it picks up the voice well enough for live streaming applications in the future, and maybe for other video stuff too. I mean, I would just as soon have this mic here if it sounds as good as the Yeti, because it's only about half the size. It has a much smaller profile, so that would be nice. But I'm all holding hopes for it. But anyway, so I'm kind of digging on the unit so far. I'm hoping that it works out well. There's so many things to noodle with here as far as sound settings and all that go. I have so much more to learn on it. So this, like I said, just a really brief overview of the actual product itself. And maybe I'll do a follow-up video down the road a bit when I've gotten used to more of the functions that it has. So anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more product reviews, music reviews, video reviews, live streaming. You know how the channel is. It's kind of all over the place. But yeah, so far I'm kind of digging it. I'm liking to have a new tech toy to play around with. And if you have any experience with this pod deck, or if you have any thoughts about it just from this video, let me know in the comments below as well. And until next time, this is Genome. Always eagerly anticipating to learn something new in the techie world. Out.